Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Tauruses. This is your December 2025 reading. It will be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Definitely for those intuitively guided. Since we read through our spirit guides, then our intuition is going to guide us. Many times, like a reading, like feels like it's been nudged upon you. It's your spirit guides. I just did a podcast, matter of fact, that tells you, who your guides are and what their purpose is. So you might want to check that out. I think it was like it ended at like 11:11. Hmm. I'm having like realizations right here in your reading. But anyways, I'll try to remember to attach it to the end of your reading. I have to say, Taurus, I am doing what I call late night reading, which I don't do very often anymore. I am drinking coffee and it's late night, so I feel like your guides, our guides, are preparing my body for what my spirit's about to read. So I'm going to take a moment to drink a coffee, and I hope it's in a really good way. But I feel like I am being called to attention. So I will be. What else I was going to say? Some of you may certainly be in love with the Taurus. And if that's the case, just remember, same thing. Your guides know you're here. Trust the messages. Like if something feels like, wait a minute, that sounds like it's for me. Trust that. You know what I mean? Like try not to second guess it. Um, So, with all that being said, today I'm going to do an actual spread for you. I just did it for Aries, and I did a few last month. Normally I just do it freestyle, but I have to say the spread that I've been doing, it just feels right. Like it's been bringing us real answers. Um, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. Matter of fact, let me just get everything ready. Okay. So, what we will do tonight is Mother Mary will open up our reading with her words of wisdom for us. We will use the crystal vision. I'm going to use them to clarify or to go deeper if needed. You can go ahead and move them over. And then I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot for the spread itself. So let me go ahead and bring the lid down. And let's start with Mother Mary. I think I brought it down too far. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So everything is pre-shuffled, but I do like to give it a shuffle with you here. And we will give him a cut. And let's see what Mother Mary has to say. A lot. A lot. First thing is interesting. Face up, feminine, like in my face, feminine. I allow my feminine nature to shine brightly as a valuable part of my identity. I allow my feminine nature to shine brightly. Okay. So being called into our feminine energy. Beautiful optimism. And by the way, this reminds me of the Three of Wands, and December is a 3-month. So if you just think of tarot, it can give you clues what that means. Joy, reasons to celebrate, optimism. Though I do know that's not everyone's story. I know that. I feel it. And I wish I could change it. I expect good things to happen, and they do. Feminine energy. I expect good things to happen, and I do. Listen, if I've been putting intentions out there of like, it's been bad, so it's going to stay bad, and those are my intentions. Those are those seeds. I would say, well, this isn't working for me. So why don't I just try to switch it up for like a week? And, when I feel myself like getting down or what have you, I'm gonna have something ready. Like I'm feeling down, I'm gonna put on music that I can dance to, music that makes me move. Um, you know, um, Getting outside, getting in the sun. I don't know, I don't know why all these things are coming to me all of a sudden, but all right, well, hello, joy. Hello, joy. I feel like there's a joy out there, and I just said hello to you. By enjoying this moment, I'm giving thanks to God for my life. And that reminds me of the Three of Cups, and that reminds me of the Three of Wands, which would be 33. And I do feel like, like I'm seeing feminine energy, and it's making me feel like divine feminine energy. So I almost feel like there's a master number 33 also associated to this marriage. I make a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. So if it's what I want, I feel like just work on it. Again, when things not working, maybe I try the opposite, if you so choose. And then look at this. Wow, Taurus. Love. Which kind of brings us right back to feminine. Look at that. Feminine, optimism, joy, marriage, and love. Love is the answer to all of my questions. What is Mother Mary trying to tell you? Well, I know exactly what type of energy will suit you, no matter what the situation. When you're in the present moment, that's the thing. It's like you're not letting things you can't control have control over you. You're not going to worry about them. You're letting go of the things that you can't control. The ones I can't control. Because the one you can control is you. So, I don't know, but this looks good. Okay, now I know why I have coffee. Okay, kind of don't want to put them away. However, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of fan them out. I just kind of want you to see them. Yeah, I just realized one of my favorite sweaters is like ruined. All right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do the spread. So I'm going to use the Gilded Shroud. Going to give it a shuffle. Cut. And then I'll tell you what each position means. And then we'll go over it. We'll let it unfold. We'll let it tell its story, which is probably your story. All right, so number one, present. This is the present moment. This is the current situation. Goes right there. Number one. What crosses it? What challenges it? Or I feel like you also have to, like, if you're looking at the shadow part, you have to also look at the light or what's helping it. Just right there. I like to put them in a reverse because I like the suspense. I feel like that's why my guides have me read the way I do because they know that I love like uncovering the stories. You know what I mean? It is part of what draws me to tarot. So I think they know that, and that's why I read the way I do. All right. Anyways, number 3, the subconscious. So it could be some subconscious factors that could be affecting a situation. We'll see what that is. Number 4 is the past. So influences that led to potentially number 1. And then number 5 is the conscious mind. So this is what you know that you know. Um, then we have the future. But, as I say that, I want to say the future is not yet written. So you're kind of writing it right now. Okay. And I'm going to slide these over just a little bit. And then we have you and whatever we need to know. Like, I don't even put a limit on it, like it's this or that. Just whatever we need to know about you. Next is external influences, so things that may be outside of your control. Could be also how you react to it. We'll let it be whatever it wants to be. Next is like your fears, your hopes, um, any advice, whatever spirit needs to say. And then last but not least is the potential outcome. I say potential because again, you're writing it as you go. There's free will. And that's that. All right. So take a moment. Just calm my mind. Take a drink. Okay. Sorry about that. Current situation. Wow. Look at that. The Ace of Pentacles. So something is about to manifest. This is probably one of your soul seeds of intention. This could be a seed that was planted, I don't know, all of a sudden I'm feeling like maybe lifetimes ago, but maybe just a couple hours ago. Something is coming to fruition. This ace is truly meant to enhance your life, but like any ace or any seed, you have to nurture it. That's why feminine energy is being called out. You gotta nurture this. Okay. What comes over it? Da, 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 da. Queen of Wands. Queen of Action. Passion. She's lighting this flame. Like, this is my fire, and it's no excuse for it. She's not a fear-based energy. I know, I'm reading for Taurus, but I want you to understand, like, I feel you're all people in the reading, unless I kind of feel it otherwise, because I feel like you're being called to be in this type of energy. Wow, we are moving into Sagittarius fire time. So, if she's passionate about it, she's going to go after it. Doesn't mean, like, I feel like the one thing the Queen of Wands has learned is, I've gone after things in my life and it always hasn't paid off. This may be your higher self, like we've gone after things and yeah, haven't all paid off. But we didn't let that get in the way, right? We got back on that horse. We fell back in love. Hmm. Okay. I feel like this is really the root of your reading, and that's kind of how I look at it. But again, this is the subconscious. So let's see. Seven of Wands, defensive energy. Why? It is about standing your ground. He looks like he's blocking a doorway that other people want to get through, but he's blocking it. And, there doesn't seem to be any fear, just that's the way it is. For some of you, you may be called to like stand your ground. But then I also feel, you got to be careful that you got to know what you're standing your ground over. Am I like my point has to be proved, but like an asshole? That's not worth the effort. Then again, this person not really putting in effort. I almost feel like because behind this person, look at the light. It's like illumination. And it's like you're walking through it and someone's blocking, well, probably lower vibrational energy of getting through. That's probably connected to the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. I think that's what it is. So it's like as you head towards this illumination, this brilliant light, so to speak. And for some of you in meditation, that's what you see. Um, it's almost like Archangel Michael stands to protect you. And that's that. All right, well, let's look at the past. Past influence. Well, wow. Okay. So, this isn't really the devil, but it can talk about shadow, because it can talk about temptations. It's really the name of it. Things that tempt you in the dark, so to speak. For some of you, it's literally a Capricorn. But for others, sometimes I feel like, how can we know how good the light is if we haven't walking through the dark? Or how do we become truly balanced if we fear our dark self versus balancing it? You know what I mean? Because it's almost like Mother Mary is saying, well, you've been in this type of like protective type of energy, but now a different type of energy is called upon. So I feel like whatever has tempted you in the past, again, this protection here, like almost like no matter what they do or try, I'm saying they, and it may be a they or just energy, period. I feel like you're being protected. Like I feel like this ace is meant to reach you. And for some of you, it could literally be an idea, an epiphany. It's so funny. Like there's this tiny little thing that I think I'm gonna invent. watch Shark Tank, and I think, what the heck? There's a million things I need that I don't have. But I just, like, I don't want to say what it is yet. Anyway, but that's what I'm saying. Like, an epiphany could become, you never know. You never know. All right, let's look at the conscious mind. The Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords. Like on a mission. On a mission. Not an easy mission. But definitely a mission that you can do. You know, there is this knight, and he is like in armor. Again, this protection, right? All this protection. This could be, well, the way I look at a knight is it's energy that's coming in, and it's being sent by a king or a queen. So it can be communication. It can be truth. You know, like you're awakening to the truth. And it may be all of that. You know, the one thing I do know is when we're living in, you know, not that I am, because I don't want any of you to think like I'm over here living a perfect life. There's a million things that I should stop doing. I know that, you know what I mean? But I do know the difference now between the light and the dark. Like I can read energy, and this is exactly what I'm feeling here. You know, I feel like there's just been a period of time where it's almost like a dark cloud has been over you. And in this dark cloud, well, produced dark energy, people, situations. You know what I mean? But I feel like how you want to look at that is, for some of you, I feel like you clawed your way out, but you got out. You overcame. You're moving towards the light. And here's the protection. Almost like it was guaranteed for you. It's almost like it's talking to your soul. So now I'm going to take that Ace of Pentacles in feminine energy, in the energy of optimism, not pessimism. What this is joy. So, I don't know, is someone calling? Let's look at the future. Queen of Pentacles. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Chances are it's you. And look what you're holding. Pentacle. In your hand. On your lap. And I love that she's even looking towards the future. It's almost like her flame is burning the past. It's funny because I just left a comment with someone, and I hope they don't get mad that I repeat this, but they're apologizing for putting like what's going on in their life in a comment. And I'm like, no apologies. I'm like, it's exactly what this is for. The comment section. To let it out. But what I told her is, I said another way is to write it down, get it out of you, and then take it outside and burn it, like under the moon. If you can't do that, bury it. I don't know. Rip it up and bury it. Because I feel like it's getting out what needs to get out. It's almost like if there's any residue. It's Queen of Pentacles, I call my psychic detective. So she's got this pentacle in her hand. And this pentacle can truly be anything she wants it to be. especially if she's inspired. Like, you put these two queens together, like just the energy, put the energy together. Whatever I want to create, I'm going to create. But it doesn't have to be money. It may be, well, it may be all. It may just be a different life, a different way. Well, let's look at you. Look at this, the Ace of Swords. Truth. Your truth. Another ace. This is also my yes card. Man, as it relates, if it's relating to communication, major. Meant to happen. It's coming under you. I'm feeling that this queen is feeling pretty ballsy. So, if there's someone on my mind or if there's something that I want to go after, I feel like these aces are like your support system, are your go, are your yeses. Okay, let's look at external factors. Three of Swords. Okay. So we know the past can potentially, I really don't feel this, but it could potentially, for some, still be part of like your decision making. And I get it. For some, you may be like, I had my heart broken, fell in love, they broke my heart. Why would I want to fall in love again? And I don't blame you. And I don't think, I think it's when we're not looking is when we find it. When I was, well, let's just put it this way. I don't know how old I was when I got out of that abusive situation after 5 years. I moved back home and I moved with my mom. I just showed up at the doorstep. Me and the kids, I just showed up. We took a bus, couple bags in our hands. Hi, we're moving in. But I told myself, you are not getting in another relationship because there is something off with your energy. I knew it because, before that I was married to someone who cheated right away. So I get this energy. But what I want to say is when I said that, it was only weeks later where it was actually my brother's roommate, who I ended up spending the next 25 years with. And, I don't regret it because I do feel like it was all meant to be. Like he helped me right in the areas, he must have been a soulmate, right in the areas that I needed. And him, it's like, and I was out on another date and he came into the bar and came right in between me and the date and just put it back to my date and just started talking to me. And I've never had a guy do that before. And there was something about that. And that was it. That was it. So anyway, I didn't plan it. I didn't want it. I tried to get out of it, but I couldn't. Same thing with Sam. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you fall in love, you don't expect it. I don't know if this is talking about love yet. I know one thing. Like, I feel there's abundance here. All right, let's look at your hopes and fears. The High Priestess. Yeah, some of you are wondering if you're on the right path, if you're doing the right thing. And you know what your guides would say? Are you happy? Is it something that piques your interest? You know, that's what I often feel like me getting into tarot. I feel like it started as an epiphany from a spirit guide. And here I am so many years later. You know what I mean? And it's so different than the first half of my life. So different. Okay, I'm not going to talk about myself. I don't know why I'm talking about myself. Um, I can just see myself. That's why. So, will I trust my intuition? Can I trust my intuition? Maybe it has felt off, but maybe the reason is something of the old is affecting you in the here and now and the future if you so allow it. You know, it's like here is your intuition. So you'd almost have to wear a blindfold to deny it. Look at the final outcome. 5. Oh no. I was like, what? No, the 4 of Cups. Interesting. You know, Taurus, it looks like you are on a journey. You know, in a way, building something. Maybe for some of you, it's coming from like an idea. You're creating something, whether it be a business, whether it be a new career, whether it be just a new beginning. But I also feel like the finances, even if I'm starting at zero, because I feel like it's the idea that will count. So maybe it's something online where like you don't need any money. And it's like you know your truth. You've been illuminated. You have protection. Some of you just have to trust that. You got to cut those ties. You got to remove those hooks. You got to blow that flame out. Now, I don't think you should blow the flame out. I shouldn't have said that because I feel like the flame is your desire. And I feel like at one time my desire went one direction, but this is going a different direction. The Queen of Pentacles is leading the way. So, my psychic detective, but also someone who can build very quickly. You know, go from like the apprentice to the master teacher. I feel like there may have just been something standing in your way. And even though it may have resulted in heartache, the 4 cups is about a new cup that's coming in. And look at this. It's coming from from divine above. Like you're looking right at it. It's kind of like having the Ace of Cups. 4 cups is about, it's interesting, I just realized with the High Priestess right below it, it is about using your spiritual discernment. And the High Priestess, right? Your intuition. Don't second guess it. You know, that's another thing about Earth. We can overanalyze, think too long. You know, get that initial instinct and then overthink it. Uh-uh. Okay. So, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. We have the moon. Um, Heart of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. The moon, uncertainty. Look at that, the Five of Swords below that. I knew I felt that. I knew I felt energy that just is not good for you anyway. But until we tell ourselves that, we tell ourselves the opposite. It doesn't matter what I say. The moon, it can be sometimes not knowing, like, what is the final outcome going to be? Well, sometimes you can't know, because again, it depends what she does, right? It depends. It depends if this goes away. Depends if I accept that cup. So there's a lot of different ways it can go. And the moon is like allowing the dreaminess of the journey to unfold. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to rush something. Okay. I'm going to bring in the crystal vision. By the way, some of you see that my sweater is ripped, which I'm really bummed about because I love this sweater. But once it's gone, it's gone. I didn't know it. I just put it on. Ooh, I just saw the Nine of Pentacles. Successful self-employment. Maybe. Why not? All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to clarify everything because I don't really feel like we need to. But I'm going to take a couple right at the present moment. This Ace of Pentacles. Oh, okay. That's a lot. Okay. Sorry. Too many. I very seldom turn them down, but that was way too many. They'll come back out. They're meant to. Okay, wow. How interesting. The only thing that's turned in the upright is the Four of Wands. Commitment. Interesting, because Mother Mary also has that. Love. Well, this is my favorite love card. Is it of the old or is it of the new? Well, I don't see like justice out. So it may be a committed, it may be the end of an old, but the Ace of Pentacles, I feel like, well, I don't know. I feel good about it. All right, let's see what comes around it. We have the Chariot. Double Cancer right there. There's that Three of Swords. And the Six of Pentacles. It's almost like answering a question. Why was my heart broken? Because you gave without receiving. Because it wasn't equal. It wasn't balanced. And maybe it never was going to be. Because I feel like the Chariot is like advice to move away. It's almost like packing your car and leaving. And, it's interesting because this Four of Wands is like, I want to get excited about it, but then there's something holding me back a little. And then I see the Three of Swords. With the Three of Swords in your near future. And I don't mean that it's happening. I mean that energy has carried forward. So I can see where, like, I may not want to give my heart again, but I feel like the truth is, it's not about giving your heart, it's about who you give it to, who they are. You know what I mean? Who you are, where you're at. Six of Pentacles is learning that fine art of give and take, and sometimes we can only learn that through what we call mistakes, our soul would call lessons, you know, chances to evolve. Because the chances of allowing it to happen again, once you're aware of it, is slim to none. It's not about changing you, right? Like if you're compassionate and you're empathetic and Mother Mary is calling for that, to me that means the world is calling for that. Like you don't want to shut that part of you down. You may say romantically. I feel like for some of you, like no matter what I say romantically, you're like, it's shut. And I think that's fine. I think that's fine. The only thing I would say is try not to carry the Three of Swords along with you. Because remember, this chapter, this 9-year chapter, it is coming to an end this month. And we're entering year 1. Do I want to allow this energy to follow me? It's like here I see you like in the light and protected. Hmm. All right. I want to look at the Knight of Swords. I want to know a little more about that. Is that person? We got the Ten of Pentacles. Interesting. Almost like I'm coming to your home. The King of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Ten of Pentacles. Some of you, it's an offer. It's like a good offer. It may mean relocation. Some of you may have made a move and then or you're thinking of it and then you find like the perfect job. And in that job, you may find your perfect person. Interesting. Cause there is the king that sends that knight. There he is, right over it. Doesn't have to be an air sign, by the way. To me, the King of Swords in the upright, truth. Wow, that seems to be like the name of the game here. Like, without truth, we have nothing. Integrity. I feel like because we're looking at the Ten of Pentacles and we're kind of looking at your future, hence, or your present, moving into your future, if you if you choose a certain direction. I don't think all of you are moving, by the way. But it's interesting because something is telling me this communication, like maybe coming to your home. You may be home. It may be your phone. It may be a text. Could be a like on a post. Something that it's going to trigger you, but probably in a good way. Probably just as it was meant to. Because I feel like boom. And then actually, I covered up your future. And I don't want to do that. The Chariot is also Cancer energy, which is a very nurturing sign. Even your opposite is what? Scorpio. Water. So, although I feel like you're building, creating, I feel like there's some unexpected things happening. The Magician. What am I looking at? Your future. The Creator. Wow. Wow. That song, one is the loneliest number. Bullshit. sometimes. Sometimes, especially an earth sign, you leave an earth sign be, they'll create something out of nothing. That's what I'm feeling about you. Not only that, I feel like just as you're meant to. It's like you're rising. You're rising to the occasion. I love that. I love that. You know, I feel like there really is nothing that can get in your way. It's so interesting how we opened the reading and I felt this dark cloud around you. And I kind of feel like it was following you, almost like hooks. But now I feel like when you find the light, everything changes. Everything looks different. Everything is different. Everything is of a different vibration. It is like living a different life. You're going to feel that. And it may start with one small step. I just feel like, what's his name? To the moon. One small step. Eminem has a good song out, or had a good song out. You have like one shot, don't miss it. I don't know the name of it, but I used to listen to it with my son. Um, and I always thought like that was a good song. And I may be thinking of that because this may be your shot, your opportunity. Some of you're calling something your baby. Queen of Wands again over the Ace of Swords. It's almost like it's saying, this is the true you. This is the true you. This is you being unencumbered. This is you not carrying fear with you. This is you not worrying about the past. You're too busy creating the now. This is you doing what you want. This is you being true to you. Wow. Look at this. Well, hello, lovers. It's so funny because I knew the lovers was going to come out. I just knew it. And like, I wanted to say that and I held myself back. I should have said that. The lover is a head over heart decision. So you're meeting someone. Someone's coming into your life. And it's putting you in a decision mode. And I feel like the question is, am I going to allow this past heartache to automatically make me say no? I feel like the magician, who I feel like is also a great mentor, would say, all you have to do is take a step. It's not like you're making a commitment. And then Mother Mary calling that feminine energy out. She's talking about love. And then the Queen of Wands comes out. She would say yes. I can tell you right now. But, okay. I just knew it. All right, let's just go up the line. Ten of Swords. So for some of you, you really want to look at this and look at it from your intuition's point of view, from your higher self's point of view. You may have been in a karmic loop because this is like repeating a pattern. This is like saying, I expect bad things to happen, and they do, right? And what's Mother Mary saying? the opposite. But this person is in submission. And yeah, I know, I've been there. It does take a lot to get up. So maybe why I felt like, even if you gotta crawl, right? But who's gonna change your situation if you don't? They're not. They're causing it. But you're allowing it. Oh, and I don't mean that with judgment, by the way. This table is judgment free. How could I judge you when I can see me all over the place? Okay. So, that's under your hopes and fears. So, is it a reality? Or, oh, look at this, the Six of Cups coming over the Four of Cups. Wow. Six. The Lovers, six. Six Cups. Six Cups mirroring the King of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. Communication coming in. That cup in the Four of Cups is coming in. Some of you, this could be someone of your past. And that may be why I was talking about my past. You know, both good and positive. I mean, right now, I'm with really my first love. I'm not with that person in 25 years anymore. I did leave. And then 2 weeks later, my first love, my first teenage love, looked me out, or no, actually, well, it's a long story, but we reconnected. And from that moment on, we've been connected. I now live here. I now live in his home. So I can't leave that off the table because then I'd be denying what I know is true. But I also know it can be past lies. You know, but your heart's going to let you know. That's the thing. And that may be why it's really focusing on this Three of Swords. But then here's the Ten of Swords. So, will it get better if I do nothing? No. It will just keep happening. With them? No. I feel like the Lovers is them, who I feel like is this king or queen, who either they're calling you or you're calling them. You know, and I'm saying potentially you because I'm seeing the power of the magician. So you have to trust your spiritual discernment in the Four of Cups over this cup that's coming in. But look at that. I mean, that's the energy of nostalgia. That's the energy of like happy, treasured memories. Like, this is only good. This is good news. And what you decide to do is what you decide to do. But I'd take the magician's advice and I'd like maybe at least step into it. You know, maybe allow a conversation to be had. You know, your guides, if this is not meant for you, like they will send you red flags. Someone also left a comment saying, like, how stupid of me for, like, not noticing the flags or something like that. I said, well, that is all of us. I said, that's the human part of us. You know, it's like once we start seeking the real us, the illuminated us, it's like it's easy to buy the illusion of the shadow. Anyway, I don't know why I started talking about that, but look at you. I mean, look at the difference of just your decisions make. Because I feel like we come right back to the Four of Wands. However, I feel like it's different. It's different. Usually you'll see the lovers naked, and it is a symbol to me of each being comfortable in their own authentic skin, and each like making the other comfortable, like allowing them and wanting them to be who they truly are. I have a feeling here, I don't feel like, well, I don't feel like you got that at all. So, do I let it be? Because I feel like now we come down to the decision making. Excuse me. Now we come down to the free will. All right. I heard you. One more shuffle. Oh, look at that. Look at that. 10 of Cups. And I heard one more shuffle. It took its good old time to come out. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. How does it all begin? The Magician's energy, which is next year's, right around the corner. So no wonder Mother Mary's sending out all these threes. It's almost like these are your gifts. Like, I feel like some of you in 2026, I feel like you're living a completely different life. But it's like you're living your authentic life. And listen, don't beat yourself up from where you've been. Because again, I do feel that energy of real. Well, I shouldn't say real, but like, I feel like, I guess the healer I would seek would be someone who had been through what I had been through. Because I feel like then they would truly understand. So, what I'm saying is sometimes those difficult, unbelievable things, don't think like you were weak. Like you're probably the opposite. You're probably this wise old soul, and you're like, give it to me, baby. Like, let me learn it this year. Let me clear this karma and let me clear forever. Because somewhere, somehow, you are finding your power. And do I think your guides are part of it? Yeah. But it's really you. Okay. I think I'm going to let that be because honestly, I feel like where could it go from there? This is showing you the beautiful potential. I mean, look at the difference. 10 of Swords versus 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. And they're mirroring each other with the Chariot right in between. So, Taurus. Wow. Loved it. I loved it. I love doing nighttime readings. They just have like this different flavor to them. So I hope you love it. I hope it makes sense. And I hope for some of you, it helps you make that leap. And for some of you, you're just going to say, stay out of my life, Sandy. I get it. I do. Yet in your timing, I still feel like, if it's meant for you, your guides will pull you back. But anyway, I just let it go. I let it go. So I love you. I thank you. I really thank you. What a reading. Um, it's like I just watched a really good movie with a really good ending. So, I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.